Go out and tell our story. Let it echo far and wide. Make them hear you.
After the alarm caused by Nat Turner's insurrection had subsided, the slaveholders came to the conclusion that it would be well to give the slaves enough of religious instruction to keep them from murdering their masters. The Episcopal clergyman offered to hold a separate service on Sundays for their benefit. His colored members were very few and also very respectable, a fact which I presume had some weight with him. The difficulty was to decide on a suitable place for them to worship. Methodist and Baptist churches admitted them in the afternoon, but their carpets and cushions were not so costly as those at the Episcopal church. It was at last decided that they should meet at the house of a free colored man who was a member. I was invited to attend because I could read. Sunday evening came, and trusting to the cover of night, I ventured out. I rarely ventured out by daylight, for I always went with fear, expecting at every turn to encounter Dr. Flint, who was sure to turn me back or order me to his office to inquire where I got my bonnet or some other article of dress. When the Reverend Mr. Pike came, there were some 20 persons present. The Reverend gentleman knelt in prayer, then seated himself, and requested all present who could read to open their books, while he gave out the portions he wished them to repeat or respond to. His text was, "Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters, according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, in singleness of your heart, as unto Christ." Pious Mr. Pike brushed up his hair till it stood upright, and in deep, solemn tones began, "Hearken, ye servants. Give strict heed unto my words. You are rebellious sinners. Your hearts are filled with all manner of evil. 'Tis the devil who tempts you. God is angry with you and will surely punish you if you don't forsake your wicked ways. Instead of serving your masters faithfully, which is pleasing in the sight of your heavenly master, you are idle and shirk your work. God sees you. You tell lies. God hears you. You men steal away to every grog shop to sell your master's corn that you may buy rum to drink. Oh, God sees you. You sneak into the back streets or among the bushes to pitch coppers. Although your masters may not find you out, God sees you, and he will punish you. You must forsake your sinful ways and be faithful servants. Obey your old master and your young master, your old mistress and your young mistress. If you disobey your earthly master, you offend your heavenly master. You must obey God's commandments. Now, when you go from here, don't stop at the corners of the streets to talk, but go directly home and let your master and mistress see that you have come. The benediction was pronounced. We went home highly amused at Brother Pike's gospel teaching, and we determined to hear him again. I went the next Sabbath evening and heard pretty much a repetition of that last discourse. At the close of the meeting, Mr. Pike informed us that he found it very inconvenient to meet at the friend's house, and he should be glad to see us every Sunday evening at his own kitchen. I went home with the feeling that I had heard the Reverend Mr. Pike for the last time. It was so long before the Reverend gentleman descended from his comfortable parlor that the slaves left and went to enjoy a Methodist shop. They never seemed so happy as when shouting and singing at religious meetings. The congregation would strike up a hymn and sing as though they were as free as the birds that warbled around us. Precious are such moments to the poor slaves. If you were to hear them at such times, you might think they were happy. But can that hour of singing and shouting sustain them through the week, toiling without wages, under constant dread of the lash?
Make them hear you. Make them hear you.